Well, good day, folks. Welcome back to MB Wildman channel. On today's video, just another real quick look on our dog proof university type series that we're doing here. And today's episode, we're going to talk about how to restrain or how to hold your dog proof traps in the most efficient way, at least that I think so anyway. And there's a couple different schools of thought on this, right? So especially here in New Brunswick where we get some snow early and we get the ground that freezes real early, I use a lot of these clips on the trees, right? So I don't actually put the dog proofs in the ground. Using the little stake, right? Because we get a lot of frozen ground and we get a lot of different depths of snow and all that. If you haven't yet seen that video on the channel on how to make these clips that hold the dog proofs onto the tree, then go ahead and check that out. It's on the channel. It's a pretty good one. And oh yeah, if you haven't yet subscribed to the MB Wildman channel, we sure would appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell so that you get notified when we upload new content. We wouldn't want you to miss any videos. And as always, you know, we're looking for questions, comments, feedback, concerns, whatever you got. Go ahead and leave those in the comment section down below, and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can on those. So here we are. We're out here again, and talking about ways to secure your dog proof. So what I found over the last couple of seasons is that raccoons, when they're caught in dog proof traps, these are really quite humane in that they only pinch the animal, right? So I know it's a pretty strong spring, and I know it probably doesn't feel like a Sunday picnic when they get caught in them, but it's just a restraining trap, right? So apart from the fact that their paws stuck in there, they're not hurting, they're not gonna die, they're just stuck, right? So, and we get a lot of big raccoons here in New Brunswick, so there's a lot of fight left in them. And what I have found in the past is that I've just taken those T-stakes those rebar T-stakes, and I've put it through the drowning lock of the dog proof, right? And I've just hammered it down into the ground as best I could, even if it was down all the way solid, and then I've just, you know, you stake this in the ground or whatever. What I've found is that if you do that and you're close enough that a raccoon can get any type of grip on anything, a tree, some bushes, whatever, if it can get up in the air off the ground just a little bit, clawing and scratching and pulling, it will eventually work that loose and be able to work it up out of where you've pounded it down in. Now, I don't use earth anchors. I've never had much success or luck with earth anchors, and you can put it in the comments if I'm wrong, and if they're the best thing since sliced bread, you just let me know. But I've never actually used them with any great success. So I've always just used like a solid stake, and last two seasons, both one in each of the last two seasons, I've ended up losing a catch and a dog proof trap because I made the mistake of anchoring it using one of those T-stakes, and then the raccoon was able to get up on a dead log or a dead stump or something, wiggle its way and create upward pressure on the stake and take it off. So we've revamped our system since then, and what we do now is I use a cable restraint. Now this is a piece of just regular coyote snare that I would do, like an extension cable, and I start with about 5 feet of cable. And what I found really easily is that all I have to do to hold my trap 100% secure, right? Raccoon's not going anywhere, whether it goes up, down, sideways, back, forth, whatever. It's not going to snap a 7/16 piece of aircraft cable. It's just not going to do it. So what I do is I clamp one end, like I would be for tying off a snare, okay, make about a 1-inch loop with a double furrow. And then on the other end, somewhere here, on the other end, what I do is I put my same double furrow on the snare, as you can see, and then I run a single stop on the end of the wire, and I don't pinch this shut. So what this allows me to do is it allows this loop to increase or decrease in size, right, but it still isn't going anywhere. Okay, because you've got the single stop hammered here, good and shut. It just allows the loop on this end to adjust itself. Okay, so you can see where I'm going with this, right? What you're going to end up doing is you're going to go around whatever the base of the tree. Okay, go around the tree with whatever you have here. Okay, and then slide it through this way, right? So, or no, the other way. Sorry. The adjustable end goes through the solid loop, and then you just pull it so that it's tight. I usually don't use a tree this big, but it doesn't really matter, okay? So now you've got that solid on there like this. Then you take your dog proof and slide your loop closed, just pretty small, slide it through the locking mechanism, the drowning rig, okay? Then open it back up and put your dog-proof trap through the big opening in the snare, like that, right? And then what that does is it creates, okay, so that basically locks. There's no way that that snare is coming off there, okay? There you go, okay? So what, I don't know if I can show it to you, but let me see here. Right, so what that creates is once you loop that around, it's just like when you would attach a snare regularly, right? So I looped it through the locking mechanism here, and then I put it through itself, so there's no way that this is coming off here, okay? So then this basically just pulls back and close, like it doesn't, there's no way that it's going back through that, right? And so that, as that tightens up, but it's still good and solid, it's not going anywhere, okay? So that right there is just attached using this cable restraint to the tree, right? Then all I have to do is set my dog proof against the tree. This all just sort of floats down at the bottom of the tree. You can bury it up with a little bit of brush if you feel the need to. You really don't have to for raccoons in New Brunswick, because they'll eat anything, so you don't have to worry about that. But and then that baby's ready to go, okay? So there's different ways you can attach the cable restraint. That was one way, if you don't mind making the double furrow with the single stop. Now, there's some guys that will do this, okay? Some guys will do the exact same thing. And I've had varying success with this. I mean, it's not a bad deal, but they make a general loop in one end, and then they make a loop in the other, and both of those are locked solid. And then they use a quick link in here, and the quick link just opens as such, just screws open, and attaches to your dog proof through a link in the chain or through the drowning link, whichever you want. I tend to put it through the drowning one like this, okay, just because that gives me an additional swivel, right? If you put it through the chain, you don't necessarily, you only have the one swivel here, right? So if you do it this way, you've got the swivel on the drowning lock and you've got the swivel on the trap. The reason I don't, and there's what you look like, right? So you got your extension cable wrapped around the tree already, and then you attach it to this, snap on, there you go, and you're all set. The only reason I don't like the quick links, number one, I'm cheap. And these types of quick links are, this size right here is about $1.49-ish, and I know that that doesn't seem like a big deal because they are quite reusable. But a single stop on this one is pennies, right? So as opposed to $1.49. Now, the other reason that I don't love these is because you got to tighten them up with a wrench. And if you don't tighten them solid, like good and solid with a pair of pliers before you leave, a raccoon can struggle around enough to work those babies loose, and then they'll fall off. Like then they'll be able to get free. And the other thing is, when you do tighten them up and you use them for a season or for however long, you go to take them off, sometimes they're stuck, or sometimes the threads don't work or whatever. In my mind, having a quick link like this, it's a great idea, but it's just one more mechanism that can go wrong as opposed to just being able to tie them to the tree. But really, for the most part, what I just like to do is I like to leave this expandable loop on one side, okay? What that does, again, like I said, when I'm done with this trap, all I got to do is make that loop bigger, pull the trap back through it like that, and then this just pops out, and there I go. I'm loose. I can leave these up or down or whatever, but I find that 5 or 6 feet of aircraft cable, it'll attach to any tree, and this is just adjustable, like I said, right? The 5 or 6 feet of aircraft cable will adjust to most trees. They can either have 4 feet of run or they can have 5 inches of run. It doesn't really matter once they're stuck there, okay? They're not breaking free from this, all right? So anyway, listen, I hope this helps you out a little bit, and it's just another way, another good way that you can secure your dog-proof traps, so you don't lose traps, so you don't lose animals. And like I said, hope this helps you out. So until next time, happy hunting from the MB Wildman channel.